Matt Noble here from Gold Derby with Kaitlin Olson from Hacks. Kaitlin, love to talk to you about what your favorite thing about DJ, the character you play, is.
Hello, Matt.
Hello.
Um, well, this character, I kind of love everything about her, but the best part about her is that she is basically an angsty teenager, an angsty, entitled teenage, spoiled brat, whiny teenager in a 40-year-old body. And that's just so funny to me.
Yeah. No, it's good. And I think is it fair? Like, I hope it doesn't bruise your ego to say it's probably a supporting character in the show. Like this.
It doesn't bruise my ego at all.
Okay,
It's so
great.
funny. I got a call from Mike Schur, who's producing this, and he was like, listen, Lucia and Paul and Jen Statsky are doing this show. I love them. They wrote this character for you. He described the show. He explained what it was. He said Jean Smart, and I was already on board. I never care what the size of the character or the project is. I just want to do stuff that I'm proud of and that I think I can make special. And I just jumped at the chance to work with Jean, and this character was so much fun to do. And it was also very exciting that it was very different from Sweet D or Mickey, which are the two that I'm most known for. So I was really excited about it. I also just had to show up for like a couple days a week, which was really great.
Yeah. I think the great thing about a more supporting guest type role is like DJ has to do a lot in a little, and she's like a storm in a teacup where you have to come in and make big impact in a small amount of time. How do you approach scenes like that where you just come in and like get as much out of it as you can?
Well, I find if you just get real loud, like when in doubt, just get loud and then leave. That's my main approach. No, honestly, the writing was so good that the writing was so amazing that it gave me a very clear indication of what this character was. And Jen and Paul and Lucia were so wonderful. And they were like, listen, just come in and do whatever you want, to say whatever you want, play around. And it gave me the freedom to just sort of explore what it could be and, very quickly settle on something that I felt good about, that I thought would work. And that's always the most amazing environment. So I was very appreciative of that. And it's just such a great character, somebody who's passionate about wire jewelry and like angry about, UTIs. That's funny to me.
Yeah, you've got so you play the daughter of Jean Smart's character in the series, and like in some ways that means most of your scenes are interacting with her, or a lot of your scenes are interacting with her. However, what I also find funny is there's often bystanders around observing the insanity of the moments that you have with your mum in the show. Do you have a favorite sort of moment or line from the character?
I have so many. I mean, the great thing about popping in and doing a guest star and having such great writers is that I really felt like all of my stuff was pretty fun. But I really like the introduction to DJ's character when she comes storming in from outside and is angry that they're trying to check her bag, and then having her mom accuse her of doing drugs and then throwing a big fit in front of strangers about having a bladder infection. I don't know.
Yeah.
They got me with bladder infection. I was like, I'm in.
Yeah, that's good. What is it like, the culture of the set when you go in there to shoot a scene? What's the energy?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because it often when you're coming in and doing a show that's not yours, it's weird because you're like going into somebody else's house and not knowing anyone. Everyone was so wonderful and lovely, and so excited to see me, which made me feel really good. They had already been up and running by the time I got there, and everybody was so talented as well. And I come from a background where I'm used to shooting and improvising a lot, and that was welcomed on this show and returned, which was so great. And it was a really, really lovely experience, even though we had to shoot in COVID. And that's always strange because you can't really see the crew's face. I didn't know what anybody looked like except the other actors when we were shooting the scene. It was just, and that always starts from the top. And it just is a testament to Gene and to Jen Statsky and Paul Downs and Lucia Agnello. They just set such a great environment, and we just showed up and had fun. And for me, that's the best way to make a television show.
Was there anything that was particularly challenging?
I would say the COVID of it all was a little bit challenging. Everything moved a lot more slowly than what I'm used to. So, you know, the momentum can sometimes be a little bit off if you're constantly being slowed down. You know, you have to like stop and put masks and shields back on, and then everybody's got to get their makeup redone and their hair because the masks and shield messed everything up. So that was a little bit of a challenge, but that just took a little getting used to. So it really wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, that's good. Was there something that was particularly fun to do while you were filming?
I just really loved working. I mean, I loved working with Jean. She's unbelievable. But Hannah Einbinder is so wonderful in this show. And I don't know if people know that this is her first television show. This is her first job. She's a stand-up, so she's been doing that forever, but this is her first TV show. And she was so much fun to work with and really fun to play off of. I was able to throw things at her, and you know, oftentimes you get like a deer in the headlights look back from somebody, but she was so into it and was happy to play. And we had so much fun in the episode 4 where I'm selling my jewelry and she's sort of with me the whole time. That was a great episode.
Like, when you're working with someone like that, does it make you think back to your first show and when you were starting out and everything was new?
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun because she was eating, craft services was very different. Look, again, I have to talk about this because the most exciting part about shooting a television show is craft services.
Yes.
She was eating these little like apple slice sandwiches with peanut butter in the middle, and we're talking about them. And I was like, yeah, we have those on this. She was like, is that like a standard thing at craft services? And I was like, yeah, normally it's all like set up out on a table and you can just get whatever. And she was like, wait, it's normally, because we have to go to a little truck and look at pictures and point to it and they'd hand it to us. She was like, wait, it's normally set up out all like on a table and you can just get whatever you want. And I was like, yes, this is all just because of COVID. And it was so cute. I was like, I love you so much. I want to take you everywhere.
Do you remember, Kaitlin, your first craft services table?
Of course I do. It was also not that impressive because I was doing hidden. My first stuff was like hidden. So
yeah.
A bag of peanuts. Maybe that's why I'm so excited about a true craft services. I didn't get it in the beginning.
Yeah. What are there lessons from your past work in series that you bring into this role and bring into this performance?
Yes, I think in the beginning when my first jobs, I was just trying so hard to please everyone or say the exact dialogue, and I just was trying to do everything right. And I think somewhere along the line, I learned and realized that if you're just making it your own and relaxing into it and doing your own thing, there really aren't any rules. It's the freedom to sort of explore and play around and make things your own and specific to you. That's always, you're going to be more successful that way, because there's an amount of anxiety and tension if you're trying to please everybody, and it's never going to happen. So I think learning to just relax into it and please yourself and make yourself laugh and have fun, that's where I'm always more successful.
Was there a particular moment where you remember that sort of happening while making Hacks?
No, because I think I'm so old now. I come in with that. But I was watching it with the other characters. There were a lot of lot of actors they're pretty new, or this is like one of their first jobs, and I was sort of seeing that happen with them. Or I would throw things at them that wasn't on the page and watch them kind of like work with it, and then we would end up having fun at the end of the scene, and that was really fun to watch.
How are you most like DJ?
We look alike, and that's probably about it. I'm very opposite from
Hmm.
DJ. Um, well, you know what? That's not true.
Yeah.
I very much want people's approval. I
Mm.
go about it in a different way, but it's important to me um, that people like me, or that I'm not as needy about it, I think, as
Mm.
DJ. And I have a great relationship with my parents, but I am very aware of wanting to please people. And
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of that in her too. She's just a spoiled brat about it. I pretend that I'm cool and I don't care. That's my
Mm.
that's my coping skill.
What's your favorite thing about Hacks? It doesn't have to be your role, like anything, just about the series and what it says and what it's doing.
Well, I love that it's about two women who are either looked at as has-beens, but believe that they are relevant and know their worth. And I think that's pretty great. And I also love the idea that they're forced to work together, but neither of them wants to,
Mm.
which I think is ultimately an ego thing. And the fact that they can find common ground and value in working with each other. Um, that's just such, I think, an important message, especially for women.
Yeah, and what is it like being on a show where women are like the centerpiece of the show? It's really a female driven series.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also not just on camera, but
Mm.
behind the scenes too. I mean, we had female directors. 2/3 of the producing team are women. Everything was very efficient, and things got done, and it was a dream. I'm not just saying that because I'm in the show. It was a wonderful experience from top to bottom, not just working on it. Like, you never know how something's going to turn out, even if it feels like it's going well when you're on set, which it did. I watched these episodes and I was just so proud of these guys for making such a wonderful show, and so grateful that I agreed to do it.
Mm. Without spoiling anything, did you have a favorite scene or moment that you weren't in the series, watching the episodes?
that I that I wasn't
That
in.
you wasn't in, a non-DJ scene. Was there one that you particularly enjoyed?
Listen, watching Jean up on stage, doing stand-up comedy and performing for people, and that's not in her wheelhouse.
Mm.
That's a whole different skill. That was really wonderful to watch. I also have to say, anytime that Jean, um, I don't know how many you've seen, but there's some real raw emotion too that is so beautiful to see, and it's not easy to make a comedy that successfully has um, tender moments and emotion and sadness. I think a lot of people have tried, but it sort of feels forced, and it doesn't in this. And so that's really cool to watch.
Mm. And you did mention sort of episode 4 is one where your character is able to, like, we understand her a bit better from that episode. And how do you find approaching sort of scenes where you do have to maybe vacillate a bit between the sort of revealing and serious about the character while also sort of delivering the laughs?
Well, I will say episode 7 is one where there's a lot more of that for my character. It's a
I have not seen that one yet.
Oh yeah, that's one I actually haven't seen it yet either. So I hope it's good because I'm promoting it.
Yeah.
No, that was one where you get to really dig into Deborah and DJ, and it was so fun to do because it was so different from anything that I've been able to do, at least on camera before. And it was special because I don't know that I would have been able to do it in the same way if I wasn't working with Jean Smart. Like, she gave me, I felt like I was doing theater. I felt like it was two actors really working off of each other. I wouldn't have been able to just deliver those lines to a stand-in or like a wall. So everything that she was giving me I don't know, it felt like I was really in a scene with another very talented actor doing stuff I haven't done before on camera, and it was special. So I hope it turns out well.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully all yeah. Hopefully all those scenes don't get cut and people
Yeah.
can see those
If they do,
those
then pretend I'm just kidding and
yeah.
never mind.
uh and finally, Caitlin, how do you feel going into film when you go in for a day of shooting? Oh, actually, I'm not going to say how do you feel when you go in. How do you feel when you come out after a day of shooting at Hacks?
Delighted. I mean, it honestly, I really mean it when I say, there are a lot of shows that you go and do and you feel like, oh, like, okay, I got it done, but thank God I get to go home now. The whole team was really wonderful and really supportive, and it felt very collaborative. And that's where I work best because, I'm 15 years on Sunny, and it's an extremely collaborative experience, and you don't get that very often. And just to be able to work with people who are so talented, so you're not thinking in the back of your head while you're shooting, uh-oh, I wonder how this is going to turn out. You just know it's good because it feels good. Yeah, you leave feeling very accomplished and excited for people to see it.
Hmm. Well, Caitlin, all the best of luck with the upcoming Emmy Awards. It is always so great to get to talk to you about the TV you're working on.
Thank
And
you.
for people watching this interview, you can go to goldderby.com where you can make your own award predictions and watch other interviews with Hollywood superstars. Thanks, Caitlin.
Bye. Thanks, Matt.
Bye.